I had a dream recently, and this was like when I stopped.
Episode 14, Mushroom Gus.
Oh God. Okay, here we go. So I had a dream, and this was the craziest dream I've ever had, and this happened recently, and I'm not exaggerating. So I stopped smoking. Is this close enough?
Yeah.
Okay. I stopped smoking weed because I was going crazy, and I needed a break. And I stopped, and about 5 days in, I had this dream. It started off, I was in a graveyard walking with one of my lacrosse friends, and we saw this grave, and we went over to it, and there was this little cube on this grave, and I touched it, and all of a sudden I was out of body, and I was looking down from like a bird's eye view of this square room with my friend sitting in a chair on a computer in the corner. And I was just like, the roof was like a black void. So everything around this room was just a black void, and I was looking down. And all of a sudden, like, I don't know why, but in my dream, I turned into like this little menace thing where like I would, like a poltergeist type of thing where I would just terrorize him and he wouldn't know what was doing it. So like I would like click on his computer and like make the mouse fall or something, and I would just like do little things, and he's like, what's going on? Am I going insane? And eventually he went crazy. Like he literally turned insane and was like shaking on the ground, huddled up. And then I felt bad, and I heard this, and then all of a sudden this booming voice says to me, he's like, how do you like it? And then it takes me and puts me in a body, and I'm looking in the mirror, and it's my same exact face, except I have long black greasy hair, and I'm just staring back at myself and I have like 80s glasses. And it's like my house, and everything's the same except like little differences. And I like tried to go talk to my mom, but it was like just something was off. And like I went into my former bedroom, and my cousin named Thomas was there instead of like and I thought he was my brother, and he was like sitting sideways on the wall, like it was the floor, like he was sitting crisscross applesauce like sideways on the wall, and I was just like, hey, what's up, dude? It's like, hey, what's up? Like it was normal. And then I just remember like when I woke up, I was like, oh my God, thank God that was a dream. And that it was like, I think the moral was like, be happy with where you are, and like be happy in this reality, and like be happy with what you have, because it can all be taken away at any moment.
You think that was what the moral is?
I mean, if there was a moral, if there is a moral to dreams,
to be, right? If you're a Jungian.
Yeah, from the Jungian perspective, there has to be a moral. But
so what? So like, there was life, and then you went into like chaos.
I suppose, like, I don't know, like what the cube and why the graveyard.
It's like you're. So it's like you were trying to control your own fate. Is it like that? Because you were interacting with the cube and this other thing that you're not supposed to be interacting with. Do you think?
I think maybe the cube was like mushrooms, and like I wasn't supposed to go up and touch it. I'm fucking with the universe.
Like the forbidden fruit.
Yes, something like that.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't like taking dreams to that extreme, because I feel like with dreams, it's all kind of personally symbolic. It's not like, oh, this symbol means this exact thing. But I think, like, what does a graveyard mean to you?
Oh yeah, no, 100%. So that's my concept with all this is like, do you know what Plato's forms are?
No, I don't.
You don't?
Don't think so.
You know what Plato is, right?
Yes, I know.
So he had this idea that there was universal forms for every object, that there was a perfect truth behind everything.
Okay.
And this is insane. And everything around you was just trying to be perfect. So there's like some perfect form of a square, and like everything vaguely comes around square, or a perfect form of what a table should be in. And tables vaguely come around what the perfect form of a table should be.
Okay.
So I have this theory that dreams and trips are like your own personal, based on your own past experience, based on your own culture around you and people around you, your own prior knowledge. with images that you have stored away in prior knowledge, try and explain some universal forms that are beyond earthly words.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So it's like every dream, of course it'll, like a Chinese guy and a guy from New York can explain the same thing and it'll sound completely different from each other because they grow up in different cultures. So it's like, of course the dream is personal to you because it's made of your own ideas. But it's still picking on universal truths.
Interesting. Okay, that makes sense. Except, is there really a perfect truth?
Plato thinks so he's pretty smart.
He is. He's way smarter than us.
Yeah.
So we should probably
agree, bro.
Listen to him.
If we take his ethos on that, then that's what dreams do.
Interesting. Okay.
So it's like you have to pick at them because eventually you get down to more and more objective truth if you keep going at it. Because if you look at it from face value, it's completely subjective to your own consciousness. But if you like narrow in, it becomes more objective.
Do you think symbols are the closest thing we have to representing those perfect forms in the real world?
Probably. Like if you look at like crazy religious symbols and like satanic symbols, like as above, so below.
Right.
Those symbols are, art for sure is
art.
That.
Yeah.
This is what I was gonna say about art is so the way knowledge moves. This is a metaphor I came up with, right? Imagine Saturn. So what's in the center of Saturn?
Well, very condensed.
Yeah.
That gas.
Yeah, well, I think it's lead or whatever. It's the core, right? It's the most condensed part, and as you move out, it becomes less and less condensed. And then there's a gap, and then the rings around Saturn, right?
Right.
So let's say that this represents knowledge. Knowledge in the center is completely finite. It's very, like, articulated, like, hard fact, like science. And then as it moves out, it gets more and more abstract. And then you have these rings around it. That's art. It's the most abstract form of knowledge humans understand.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so that's what art is.
Okay.
So, and eventually, Saturn's ring's an asteroid belt, right? So eventually the meteors fall onto Saturn, art comes in, and then it's articulated in the grounds of Saturn and becomes like, 50 years ago there was art about wearing 3D goggles and shit, and now it's real.
Right.
So it moves in that pattern.
Well, and I think art can do a lot more than language, like in terms of like if you want to communicate a very specific feeling, the best way to do that is a song. Like
that's true.
Songs produce feelings that you cannot replicate with words.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Like same thing with like trips. Honestly, like it's just different. It's like a different thing that is above language.
Yeah.
Or something different at least.
No, yeah. I mean the Bible talks about this, like you can't explain it with earthly words. That was their old school terminology of explaining it. It's like, you really can't explain it with our words.
Right. It's something you have to see almost or experience.
Yeah.
And, by the way, I'm sure you know about biblically accurate angels, right? Are you kidding me? You don't know?
No, I don't.
Oh my god. If you really want to be paranoid as fuck, look up biblically accurate angels, like how the Bible describes them. They're so psychedelic.
Yeah.
It's like two interconnected rings spinning constantly, covered in eyes, with a great wall of fire behind it. Or like a three-headed creature, one face of an eagle, one face of a lion, one face of a man.
This is the Bible?
That's the Bible. Yeah. That's Exodus.
Oh, they were tripping, bro.
Dude, I don't know.
They were tripping hard. Yeah, they were, dude. The bush that Moses saw.
Oh, yeah.
That bush is like, has DMT in the roots.
Well, it's definitely...
It just so happened to be on fire, and they had a vision.
It's definitely... And it's like acacia wood, which is like rich in deep. Yeah. It's like, for sure, there's some... I don't even know, like, what psychedelics they had back then. I guess...
Tons. Just like rye bread, if it gets moldy, is acid. That's what acid is. It's moldy rye bread.
Yeah, ergot, right?
Huh?
Ergot?
I don't know.
Because I don't know. And they must have had mushrooms.
Yeah, and toads, they were in the desert.
But the only thing that's just so weird about it is that there's no reference, no direct reference at all. No symbology to mushrooms, no symbology to...
I mean, Christmas.
A little bit.
That's vaguely Christian. And Christmas, obviously, the presents, reindeer shit, and then it turns into mushrooms around the tree that they fed off of, you know.
Right.
You know about that, do you, or no?
Not that exactly, no.
So, like, there's a whole... I mean, all of Christmas can be, I guess derived... No, that's not the right word. it can be explained by like the presence representing mushrooms, because like you know in Norway, reindeers are wild and they shit, and their shit gets rained on and it turns into mushrooms, and they ate the leaves of Christmas trees, so it's like symbolism there is pretty easy. Plus, look at a Christmas tree. What is that? That's literally a tree that someone on mushroom looked at and then tried to, and then it looked like a Christmas tree.
True. I guess, yeah.
So, like, that's vaguely Christian, but I don't know if there's any direct... I mean, in the Bible, don't they, like, eat bread and then see God? Like,
well, they definitely eat bread, because it's, like, symbolizing the flesh of Christ, but, like...
yeah.
It's like the Bible is a whole, like, series of novels of just, like, psychedelic revelations.
Yeah.
But there's no... but erased of all psychedelic talk. Like, it's just...
I don't know. I mean, for sure, moldy rye bread is acid. So,
but I think it's more complicated than that. Like, I don't think you can just let rye bread go moldy and then just eat it and trip, because like,
yeah,
it's like specific weather conditions and like specific.
I'm sure they might have had it figured out.
I don't know what they did, dude. It's one of the mysteries. Like, and the weird thing is, most people just have no idea about the psychedelic.
It's crazy.
And it's like one of the mysteries of the earth. One of the great mysteries, and no one talks about it.
Yeah, seriously, why the fuck does no one talk about that?
It's so bizarre, dude. And I don't know.
It's like this. There's a whole realm to existence everyone just ignores till they die.
Yeah, there's like, oh, it's a party drug. Let's take it and
kind of insane.
Go to a movie. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Why does everyone ignore that?
Good question.
That makes no sense.
I think it's like just in like deep North Korea type propaganda against the drugs.
Yeah, it has to be.
In labeling them drugs, I guess. Like all the tribal, all the early
idea that
cultures
I
call
can't
them
have a
medicine.
mushroom in my pocket is fucking retarded.
Dumb.
Yeah.
It's
I'm not allowed to have a leaf in a fucking mushroom. Why?
It's a serious violation of civil rights.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Actually, not even civil rights, just human rights.
No, I know. And do you know what it happens? Okay, so like if everything is a tool, if drugs, experiences are like tools, what is a tool? It's a neutral force that can be used by someone else for good or evil. If you have a brick, right? The Freemasons, what is it? Masonry. Masonry is bricks. What can you do with a brick? You can build a house with it, or you can throw it through a window. So it's like, if these experiences through psychedelics are a tool that can be used for good or evil, and we're banned from it, it gets this like evil haze over it. There's no asking. In order to keep things good, one of the best ways to keep things good is to talk with your parents and generations around you about it. If it's like socially unacceptable to ask your parents, hey, how should I do mushrooms? You're gonna be fucking lost, and you're gonna use this tool that's gonna be distorted into evil. So they're like making what could be a tool for good evil.
Well, and it's like the greatest tool we have for exploring consciousness. There's nothing, if you're interested in consciousness, you have to be interested in psychedelics, because it's like the thing. It's so, I mean, obviously it's bizarre. I just don't understand how something like that exists on Earth in a fungus.
Yeah, and that's true.
And how humans have somehow evolved to have the capacity to have an experience like that. I don't know.
And then just stop doing it.
Right. Ban ourselves from it.
That makes so little sense. What the hell? It's alright. It's like, just go pick one.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
I know.
It's fucking, I see one, like, across the river.
No, you're not allowed to have that. You have to conform to what we want.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
And we're gonna bar everyone from it and demonize the hell out of it.
Doesn't make sense at all.
I don't know the motivation. I mean, everyone always talks about how like the government doesn't want free thinkers because it's a threat.
No, what are you talking about? Just wear masks.
Right.
I don't know where you stand there, but
well, it's complicated. I think let's not even get into that actually.
Did it make you wear masks at lacrosse?
Yeah, inside every.
I would start questioning masks and vaccines a lot.
Just got my booster shot today, but
really?
Yeah, and flu shot. But
all right.
It's, dude, number one, that's like my family's pressuring me to.
Yeah.
I don't think I need it. I think I'm healthy enough to.
Yes.
fend it off myself. I am worried about them wanting to control what goes into your body.
Yeah.
But I swallowed the pill. I don't think.
Honestly, dude, I think mushrooms might be the only thing that saves it. Because I watched a nature documentary from like 6 years ago, and this dude was working. He was on Rogan, but he's like, what's it called? What'd you say your friend is?
Mycologist?
Yeah, he's a mycologist, and he was working on some like thing with psilocybin that's like I don't know, somehow I was really fucking stoned, but like I was like, oh shit, man, mushrooms are gonna save us from the vaccine when they try and kill us. So you might be good because of that.
You think they'll like the spirits will like fight for me? Like
maybe
the mushroom gods.
Like a chemical thing, but yeah.
Well, should I get into it? Should I get into my trips?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So where do you want me to start? I have like 3 that I want to talk about.
No, we got time.
Should I talk about acid first?
Sure, bro. I didn't know you did acid, bro.
I have. That was the first psychedelic I took.
Oh, really?
And I took it.
I feel like mushrooms are more chill than acid.
They are. They're a lot chiller. It can go either way though.
Yeah.
The first ever acid experience I had, it was like the most beautiful experience of my life. Beats mushrooms.
This is one of the things I do not like about psychedelics is the amount of dopamine you get is unnatural.
Right.
It's like, so if you had a graph of your life, those bar graphs, and there were spikes and dips, right? And they were labeled with stuff. Childbirth and like mushrooms would be too close in height.
Yep.
And that scares me a little
Yep.
bit because I believe you should not have kids. That's the ultimate goal in life. Everything else is nonsense. A job, college, friends. It's a joke if you're not raising good children for the next generation. So that's one of my fears with psychedelics is if the dopamine hit is as high as childbirth, that's gonna fuck you up.
But you don't think about it like dopamine. It's like when you experience something like that, it's not like, I don't know how to put this. I guess I see your point. Like,
yeah, it's not just dopamine. It's like
it takes away from.
Jordan Peterson called it like spiritual experience or like revelation experience. It's like even that being as high as childbirth scares me.
You're right on that point. And I do think it kind of pumps life into you when you have something like that happen.
I agree with that.
And it kind of like
I agree with that.
feeds your soul because
I agree with that.
your soul may be like craving.
Yeah.
It's just like starving right now.
It
and if you take a psychedelic, it kind of staves off the hunger for a little bit.
Yeah.
The first time I took it, I had been interested in it for about a year, and like I had heard about it and like from Rogan and like all the typical.
I gotta get a camera, bro.
Oh, you do.
I know.
You do. That's
expensive, dude. Yeah, if we had a camera right there, it'd be better. The editing would be so much easier.
I know, cause I see some like
it's kind of lame, right?
I think it would be better if it was less, like if you just did less.
Yeah.
And like less sound effects, because I like it when it's just. I like podcasts because they're so unedited. Anyway, okay. I don't want to lecture you on how to do a podcast, but
I don't give a shit. Like, yeah, I think I just want to get a camera. Fuck, I was like, oh, I'll have this new format. Stupid.
Okay, well.
Yeah, so acid.
Acid. Every time I've done it, the second you put it on your tongue, you get like a little shockwave that goes across your entire body.
Dude, Gaetano said that when I don't know what he was doing, but he said he saw blue lightning.
Oh, wow. I've never saw blue lightning.
Yeah.
but like, I think I know what he means.
No, yeah.
And like, it shouldn't be like that.
It's like tryptamine being freaking released out of your pineal gland when that shit happens.
Yeah, and it's like, it's very visceral. It's like, and I remember the first time I did it, I was just sitting in my room. I did it alone, and I was just sitting in my room, it was about an hour in, and I was looking in like out my window, and I saw a little ray of light, and all of a sudden it kind of split out, like it was like
Pink Floyd.
It kind of like yeah exactly. It was like a prism had hit it, like it just fanned out into a rainbow. Damn. And I was like, oh my god, it's happening. This is gonna be my first psychedelic trip. And I closed my eyes. And I see like just a layer of reality emerge. It like manifests out of this void that I'd usually. So you know when you close your eyes and you see the little. Am I getting a little too? Crazy?
No, I'm having fun.
Okay. Think of when you rub your eyes really hard and you see little fuzzy lights, right?
Yeah, that times a million.
And more.
Yeah.
It's like something else is there. And now, whenever I close my eyes, dude, I still see a lot of stuff.
Oh, so do I. Okay.
And weed does it too.
Yeah,
And,
well, it's because my whole theory that, like, everything is represented by your prior experience, it's there. So,
yep.
Yeah.
I've seen, like, when I close my eyes, I see flashes of past moments really clearly sometimes. Anyway, what was I saying? Long story short with the acid.
So you see the prism, and then it's like if you close your eyes. That's
Yeah, kind of like that. And then just this feeling of... Do you know how, like, you felt a little different when you were a kid? Just everything. You felt a little more sensitive. You felt a little more love-filled. That's a terrible...
crazy thought, yeah.
That's a bad way of putting it, but, like...
I get it. You're portraying it fairly well.
Yeah, like, you feel more alive, and you feel closer to the other side, I guess.
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
And,
I saw ghosts when I was a kid. I saw my...
Yeah, I did too.
My mom's sister died, and she talked to me in the clouds. Yeah.
Whoa, as a kid?
Yeah.
So what, like...
I was, like, spinning around going, "Hi, Kathy." And my mom
you just
found me, my mom and my noni, which
Whoa.
is Italian for grandma. Yeah, when you're a kid, you're fucking really close to the spirits.
Right.
I literally,
I remember...
that was the weirdest experience of my life, probably.
Yeah, one time I was a kid, I went into my basement and I saw a full-on skeleton. Like, it was clear as day. Like, yeah, and then I just I ran out and never saw it again. But, like, that's just a weird-ass memory I have as a kid.
Yeah, when you're a kid, man, you're right there. You're, like, on the edge.
So psychedelic, too.
So psychedelic.
And you see a lot more stuff when you close your eyes, I think.
Yeah.
Active man, I don't know. I keep losing my train of thought.
Me too.
Okay, the prisms, right? That's what I said. And then the feeling of love, that kind of just came on stronger and stronger. And eventually I went into my bed and just closed my eyes. And, like, you ever played Majora's Mask from Legend of Zelda?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I've never played Zelda.
For people who are listening that have, if you know the Stone Tower Temple theme, that, like, haunting...
So it's like a song. And
it's a song from the game, and it's really that.
We'll edit that in.
Yeah, do that. I hadn't heard that in years because I haven't played the game in years. But all of a sudden, that song started playing, and it's like this tribal like drum, and like it was like like, and like I just, dude, and a lot of it slips away from you. But I remember seeing. The next thing I remember seeing is a wall, except it's like a 4-dimensional wall of eyes, blue, beautiful crystal eyes, and I felt this like female presence, dude. It's. I know this sounds crazy. And
no, dude, no. I've had some crazy trips on too much pot.
Have you ever met? You wouldn't have met someone on pot, but.
I have experienced the fractals.
That's kind of like that, except they feel more alive, I think, if you're on a psychedelic.
Yeah, no, I mean, so I'd, like, never really smoke pot, and then I'm like, oh, let me just eat 500 fucking milligrams.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I've tripped kind of hard.
Oh, no, dude.
Yeah.
Did you green out?
Oh, yeah. No, I've greened out. Like, that's my favorite shit is greening out.
Really?
Yeah.
I hate that shit.
I love it, dude. It's like, let's fucking go, baby. You're, like, full trip. Like, yeah.
It's not fun, though.
It is. I like it.
Okay. Well,
I'm kind of a psycho, though, so.
Maybe you're a masochist. If you like that.
Enjoy pain?
Yeah.
No, it's more of, like, the challenge of it, like, making it fun. Like,
Try to do that with mushrooms.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. That will fuck you. You can't do that.
They will
beat mushrooms.
Literally fuck you up.
Yeah, they will fuck you up. You can beat weed, but you can't beat mushrooms.
They'll tell you, like, fuck you, pussy. Like, they'll try to, like, beat you down. But, yeah. Anyway, like, just, the only thing about the acid trip I remember is seeing that lady and like just feeling her presence, and just like she was the ultimate expression of love. Like you were talking about true forms earlier.
Yeah.
That's her. In terms of like she's love.
So it's like your representation of love.
Love, yes. And I've seen her a couple more times in my dream.
Specifically, I feel feminine love, because there is a difference. And
There
also,
is.
be worried about feminine love. I don't know what it is. It's a little sketch.
It can be.
Because God is a father figure, and that's what you need as a father figure in this plane.
You also need a female figure.
Yeah, but God's a father figure, you know? And that's like, if you're not sure, God's probably a good bet.
Right. I think he's like he wants the best for you, but he will push you to get there. The female love will love you no matter what, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which isn't good for self-development.
No. So there's a push-pull effect, like there is. I mean, everything is like being a kid over and over. It's like, as far as I can tell, that's the only universe. Like, for sure, there's creators and then there's children. Mm-hmm. That's true in the universe. So it's like when you become an adult and you have kids, I feel like you still have to be a child to something, and that's what religion is. There's something above you. So everything's like that. There's like this push-pull effect of the feminine and the masculine that you learn from, and you don't stop learning once you're 18.
Mm-hmm.
You have to keep learning, and people don't. And that's why the boomer generation raised fucking millennials, because they stopped, having any sort of spiritual life, and then the millennials sucked.
And now we're kind of the next wave after that like dry spell of meaning and dry spell of spirituality. We might overdo it, Gus. We definitely might, because I know a lot of young people who are interested in psychedelics now.
Yeah, a lot. Thanks, Rogan.
Yeah.
For real. Rogan might save us. It might be the thing to save us.
But he really, he filled a gap in the market for that kind of thing.
For sure, yeah.
Because there wasn't a platform to talk about this kind of shit before.
It's not like I trust Rogan, though. He's kind of a slime ball.
He is?
I know.
Really? What do you, how so?
Rogan's a slime ball, dude.
How so?
You gotta listen to Alex Jones. You gotta listen to Alex Jones, bro. Ask me how so is Rogan a slime?
What? He's a
joking, dude. I love Rogan, but can't trust anyone innately.
I think he's definitely done a lot of good exposure though for this kind of thing.
For sure. He's every time, if I was in an interview with him, everything he said, I would just go, "How's that fucking fence you're sitting on, pal?" He's the biggest fence sitter in the world, which is a little frustrating, just being honest, Rogan.
I see. Yeah, I can see that. Anyway, getting back to my story. It's almost done, I promise. Basically, I saw the love. I know it sounds stupid as fuck. No. I saw it, and at that point I was out of my body. Like, my soul had left, and I remember just thinking, wait, no, I want to finish Gus's, storyline. I want to, see how, because I didn't want to leave him behind. I was just rising out and seeing, that life, I was disconnected from it.
Yeah.
So, and I just felt weightless and, all that. And then the next thing I remember just, knowing the truth of everything. Just, being at this state of full comprehension? That's the word. Yeah, comprehension. And then the next thing was I started feeling the weight of my body come back onto me. And, I felt the physical form reemerge, and then it was like I fell into my chair in the real world. It was like I physically fell, too. I don't understand what happened in the real world.
Tactile hallucination.
I guess so. But, I was in my bed before. So, it was confusing. What do you need, buddy? So that's my acid story.
I mean, I had a dream. So you said you came out of your bed and fell back in. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's an out-of-body experience. That's a documented human experience for thousands of years that nobody fucking talks about. The feeling of floating out of your bed. It must be some sort of collective unconscious representation of something we don't even understand yet, but it's real. And we have to keep an eye on it. We can't just be stupid dream. It's been around forever.
Right.
So, I mean, I definitely had those. There was, the first psychedelics experiences I've ever had weren't drugs. I was just 14 and I was bored of high school, so I was like, let's get abducted by aliens tonight.
You just said that?
Yeah. And then for about 2 weeks, every time I slept, I got abducted by aliens.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I had like an alien grab me by my head and fucking pull me on my bed, and I'm floating through my room, and then I turn back down.
Whoa.
And I see my body like this.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, fuck.
I know. So like this shit's around.
I can't do that. Like I can't lucid dream or anything.
No, I can't do that anymore, but when I was younger I could. When you become an adult, it's like that's what changing your consciousness for. It's controlling behavior. It's like when you're a kid, you can't really work because you're always half dreaming. So when you become an adult, you kind of kill that part, but you can't totally repress it. You have to go smoke a little fucking weed when you get off work.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you organize your behavior. You know?
You achieve balance.
Yeah.
With that. Which, by the way, I've been reading.
Like coffee in the morning, you have to wake up and get in that. Like it's almost placebo, where it's like, all right, work time for a couple hours.
Have you read Moby Dick?
No.
Dude. I'm reading it right now. It's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
It's literally, I understand why people say it's the best novel ever written. Really? It's not even, it's a novel disguised, no, it's a book of ideas disguised as a novel.
Really?
And the dude who writes it is so smart. He's the most relatable dude ever, even though he lived like 150 years ago. He talks about how nothing exists within itself. So there's always a counteracting force to every object in existence. Like, for example, if you're in bed, he says you can't feel comfortable unless a part of you is cold, because like the warm blanket around you is like, it's not as satisfying if your whole body is just warm.
Like you can't fall asleep if you've been lying in bed from 7 o'clock till 10 and you
right.
Yeah.
You need to counteract everything. There's always a counteracting force.
That's crazy. How the fuck did he think of that?
Dude, the guy
What's this dude's name?
Melville. Herbert Melville is his name.
That's a crazy idea.
He's one of the great philosophers, I'm telling you. Like he's such a.
That's genius.
Read the book, man. I'm telling you, it's so good.
I'm dyslexic, bro.
Listen to it. Listen to it.
Maybe. I'm trying to read. I have a book on Jung right now. It's so slow. I don't know how I'm gonna pass college.
Dude, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, maybe I'll get it. I don't want to get an Adderall prescription.
I do. I have one.
You do?
Yeah, and I tried experimenting going off of it, and it wasn't good, dude.
No.
That's the only way I get shit done. And I take a really low amount, so I don't like.
Yeah, I might have to do that. I really can't read. Like it's a problem. I don't know if Adderall helps with that or not.
It does.
Yeah.
I know it does. And that might help you get through school too.
Yeah, it definitely will. I'm making it. Ah, man, fucking meth. It's literally meth.
It is. It's amphetamine.
Yeah, I don't like.
Yeah, it's but don't think of it like meth. It's not the same. If you don't abuse it, like it's. I don't agree with how much it's prescribed, but I do have ADHD that runs in the family, so like I need it. Yeah. For a medical reason. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Read if you can. Moby Dick. That's every other sentence is just like years of meditation to come to that. I don't know how he writes like that. The dude is like Shakespeare in terms of complexity and just surfacing ideas from the depths of your consciousness. Like,
people haven't done that in too long.
No, they haven't. Yeah. They don't know how anymore, I don't think.
There's this effect, right? It was a trip, right? that I came up with that I call computerization, which is the idea of like, I don't know if you saw this in an episode or not, probably not, but it's the idea like if a pond doesn't give enough wind, let's say the wind is like a refreshing of ideas, new ideas coming in, it becomes stagnant, homeostasis dies, algae takes over and all the fish die and it's unhealthy. It's like if you just scientifically, Aspergerly, autistically divvy up all known data into categorical boxes, you die. Like Nietzsche, I believe, said, we look at art to not die of the truth. It's like you need new ideas coming in from the depths of consciousness. We haven't done that in kind of a while. We haven't, I guess the 60s, kinda.
Yeah, 60s probably.
It's been too long, man. It's getting a little sketch. And guess what's happening? There's kind of a fucking scientific takeover.
It's coming.
There's is a fucking scientific takeover.
Wait, what do you mean scientific takeover?
COVID shit.
Oh. Our society does put way too much emphasis on science.
Dogmatic.
It is. It's cause like
hugely dogmatic. It's not just science. Every single billion-dollar organization, transnational corporation, government involved in the EU, and like highly appreciated political figure all harmonized their views on one fucking thing and gave all the power to one guy. That's not a joke.
Right.
Like,
it's indicative of like this web, this invisible web of political influence and money and all that shit.
It's a good way of putting it, invisible web. Yeah, and it's like, we need new ideas coming in, and they're getting silenced, and then we're dying.
Well, and another thing Jung said that I really liked was, like, humans don't see the world through science. Like, science explains a lot, but the human experience is completely separate from science.
No, I know. There's a reason why Captain Kirk's in charge of Spock and not the other way around. It's like the human experience is beyond the analytical experience.
Right, for sure. So, people, materialist atheists, that's the reason I think they're almost as naive as the dogmatic Christians.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Because it's blindness to the possibility of something more.
Yeah.
Or something other than
it's like
your current set of beliefs.
That's a good way of putting it. And also, like, I mean, historically, you literally have to have a country be atheist in order for it to be communist. People can't just ignore that.
Well,
every single country that went communist went atheist first, and every single country around them that maintained their religious values did not go communist. Because what happens is you lose putting any sort of like, I can't think of the word, but like power in some other off-world entity. It becomes the state, and then you're controlled.
Right.
Let me go put my dog.
Yeah, dude. Could I get a drink of water? I'm thirsty.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think any. Yeah, he hit the cord. I don't think it pulled out or anything though.
Did it get pulled out?
I don't think so. I want to check though.
Yeah.
Okay. What were we talking about? Atheism?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
Oh my fucking god, I hate this dog. I love Buford, but god.
Is he is he fine or?
I don't know. I usually don't lock him away because he's usually chill, but he was just annoying the piss out of me. We'll see.
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't know. I forgot what we were talking. I know atheism.
I got sidetracked to communism because I like making points.
Well, I was gonna say, you also can go too far religiously, though. That is a thing.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And that does cause it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's like there has to be homeostasis. There does. Like, if there's no, like, if you don't objectify your beliefs with real, like, observable constructs in reality, you'll be floating with no tethers to anything, and that's never good. Have you ever gone sailing without a map?
Right.
Doesn't work.
Right.
And, like, that's actually an amazing metaphor, because, like, what's a map? It's like a 2D function that represents a third-dimensional idea of sailing, is in 3 dimensions. But the map is 2 dimensions. So it's like there has to be this interaction that meets in the middle between 2 different planes of existence.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So it's like the 2D world. You have to bring them together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's harmony.
Oh, interesting.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah, that is. That's a good
Good
one.
thing we smoked that weed.
I know, dude.
I would not have thought of that.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that weird, though? Like, I think about this all the time.
Fuck, dude, that map metaphor is freaking me out.
No, yeah, I know. It's crazy. But do you ever think how crazy it is, like, weed? What we did, right? We took this magical herb that grows in, like, the woods or something, and we processed it, and then we put it in a pipe, and we applied fire to it out of this magic wand called a lighter.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
And we smoked it, and then we enhanced our ability to allow ideas into our...
What's fire? It's like, in art, throughout history, fire and water, you have to watch I don't remember the name of my video, but one of my videos talks about this. Fire and water from everything from the Bible with the Great Flood throughout history and art has been chaotic, right? So it's like fire interacts, which is a chaotic element, with something that you put in your body, and that changes everything. And this is the hero's journey, that in order for order to be maintained, you need to go into some sort of chaos and bring something back to keep it alive. So fire is chaos.
Again, with the dichotomy idea, with like nothing exists within itself. It needs a counteraction.
Yeah, holy shit. Yin yang. Like, okay.
Right.
Yin,
That's
yang,
the idea.
There's a dot of white and a dot of black in the opposite colors. There has to be that in order for it to live.
Right. It's so that I think that's the deepest idea in existence. Is that
yin yang? Oh,
is chaos and order. Like just that is the basis of everything.
Oh, dude. One time I saw the center of a fractal.
Yeah.
One time I did, right? So I was like totally greened out. And I'm like, wow, these fractals are cool. It was just zooming in and out forever, and I'm like, oh shit. And then all of a sudden it got like hyper speed and like metal music started playing. And then I saw like this split, and like at the center of a fractal there's like a split, and it was like fire was coming off of it. It was like,
yeah.
And like, I don't know what that means, but it's something to do with that. It's like where two different ideas meet.
The most fundamental elements in existence all spawn out from, I mean, I think that's just like what I was saying, like the basic fact of life is balance and yin yang. That's the most fundamental thing. I think that's the closest to the truth.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, it has to be, right?
Because it's so beautifully simple too.
Dude, look at this. This is what me and Landon were talking about last episode, is Hermes' staff. It's a snake, right? That goes around the staff. So the staff, let's say that's the center of the fractal split. Right? A snake moves in the most symmetric pattern of any animal. It's beautiful. So it's like dipping into order and chaos, and then it creates this order in the middle. That's the staff.
Oh, yeah.
So it like kind of looks like this.
Okay. Yeah. I've seen that.
Yeah, so it's like left, right, in the middle. And then you have the snake, which touches both.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is represented in art so much too. That like divide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
It's crazy. It's really pervasive in like all human cultures too.
I know. Every single one.
Everyone.
Yeah. It's like if you see something that's around in every fucking culture, don't ignore it.
Right.
Which we do.
Right.
All the time.
People think they're above that shit, but
yeah, that's really retarded.
I don't know, man. I think it's just arrogance, and we've lost like you said, the connection to like the previous generations. We've kind of like, they're like, we're just like, no, they're stupid. We know better.
Yeah, that's retarded.
And the further back it goes, the more we know. Like those primitive
Every
humans.
time people do that, that's when like a horrible insurrection happens. That's the Russians thought they were smarter than the dumb Tsar. Dogmatic Tsar people chopped it off, and communism spiraled out of that. The Maoists thought they were dumber than the old, Confucianists. They were like, spiritual idiots. We're scientific geniuses. We'll figure it out. And 100 million dead bodies later, it's like we have to figure out that your ancestors were really smart. You can't chop a tree without its roots dies. It's very simple.
Yeah, I mean, it's
And now we're tearing down statues in our own country. It's like, fuck, how do you think this road ends?
no respect for the past. It's scary.
It's arrogant.
Yeah.
It's gonna get you damned to hell. It actually is. I'm not that religious, but not respecting your ancestors is gonna put you in hell. That's like the only thing that will, for sure, you'll go to hell if you disrespect your ancestors.
Yes.
That's like, you kind of agree, right?
I kind of agree.
Like, that's like the only thing you can't do, dumbass.
Even though I don't think of hell as like a place, I think of it as
like a frame of mind.
Not even, well, that can be, because I have experienced hell, because I have had like depression where I just like everywhere you look, everywhere you go, it's like it's hell.
Yeah,
and you're just terrible, and you hate your life, and everything sucks.
That's great.
Yeah. But hell can be real, right? Like, it's a place.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know, like, what happens if you die, if you stay at the place you're at where you died. Like, if you were at a bad place in life when you died, do you stay there?
I don't know, man.
No one knows, but... I don't know.
What's your next psychedelic experience, Mushroom Gus?
Thank you for asking that. That I did experience hell that time. That's where it came from.
What, on mushrooms? Mm-hmm. That's not good.
No. It's terrifying, dude. Extra dimensional torture.
Oh, God.
Think of that.
Oh, God, bro.
Endless. So, okay, I'll tell the story. I got these mushrooms, and I wanted to do a really big trip. Because before I had only done smaller amounts, like 2.5 grams or something like that.
Okay.
This was a bag. This was like 6+ grams.
Damn.
And
what's a regular amount?
Oh, well, Terrence McKenna talks about a heroic dose, which is like a huge amount. That's 5 grams.
Shit, so you did 6, which is also Satan's number.
Oh, God. I'm starting to see where I went wrong. But, yeah, and I just wanted to, like, push myself to the outer limits. I did not respect the mushroom gods, and they punched me back. Like, they got me for that. So, this was during Oktoberfest.
Okay.
And so it was during the weekend, and I was planning on tripping for, like, a couple hours, and then as it was wearing off, going out with my friends to, like, dinner. And...
No shot.
That didn't end up happening.
Yeah, of course not.
And the problem was, like, none of my friends are into this kind of shit, so, like, they didn't know how to treat... They'd never seen, like, someone tripping, so they didn't know how to, like, treat someone tripping. Because you gotta be really sensitive and, like, understanding, you know, otherwise...
Stop tripping!
Yeah, don't do that, because that'll literally cause them... not good.
Yeah.
Anyway, I told them, like, I told 2 of them, I was like, I brought them aside and I was like, guys, just so you know, if I start acting weird, it's because I took a lot of mushrooms. And they're like, okay. They didn't really know what to say. And I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go alone for a little bit, well, because it was coming up. And I went into my room and I started listening to music, and I put in my wireless earbuds, and it was going good. Like,
What were you listening to, bro?
I can't remember. I think it was Pink Floyd. It was a lot of Pink Floyd.
I was gonna say, if it's not 60s,
no, it was
doing it wrong.
It was like that kind of thing, like Pink Floyd, Jimi Hendrix.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Janis Joplin?
No,
Dude.
don't know them.
What? You don't know Janis Joplin, bro?
No.
Check her out.
Okay, I will.
And then on an off note, especially her shit with Big Brother and the Holding Company, I just have to say this because I love this dude. The most underrated musician of all time is James Gurley. No one knows who he is because he hated fame. Like, really, I mean, when I say no one knows who he is, I mean literally no one but probably me and all of Eau Claire knows who he is. I'm not even kidding. He, like, just 1-2 years playing Big Brother in the Holding Company with Janice of Fame. That was it. Went into the 60s, left the 60s, never got famous at all. He was a guitar player. He was Janice's guitar player. She's a great singer, right? He's fucking sick. He's the most psychedelic guitar player fucking ever.
Really?
I'll show you his shit. It's when you're tripping, bro. Jimi Hendrix, fuck that dude. James Gurley shit is great, and I love Hendrix.
Bob Dylan too.
I don't know.
You don't know Bob Dylan?
Dude,
He was revolutionary.
don't tell me some fucking Bob Dylan. We're talking about James Gurley, bro.
Okay.
This dude's wild. I'll show you some. But point is, you gotta listen to 60s if you're fucking tripping.
I agree.
Alright.
I tried.
Yeah.
I had this playlist, and dude, it went sour because this is when it first started. I knew I took too much.
Yeah.
Because I was tripping like normally, and all of a sudden, like, things started getting melty. And, like, you ever seen, like, Salvador Dali paintings, like, with the passage of time and, like, the clocks, you know, melting clock, that famous,
It was like that.
like that.
Damn.
But I knew that was when I took too much, and then I looked up. I was, like, laying on the floor at this point, in my dorm room, alone.
Yeah.
I looked up in the ceiling. This giant, stretchy flesh god with eyeballs is up on the ceiling looking at me. I can feel, like, his judgment. It's like a physical judgment, like a ray of judgment.
Yeah.
And I'm just there, like, wide open, like,
Yeah.
in like the symbol of Christ,
yeah.
just on the ground, laying there, and like, I was like, dude, this is too much. I might go crazy.
Yeah.
And then that's when dude, so in my earbuds, the band started like bombing, like the music video, like the band was like falling apart, and like they started like these really weird like loops. So like they were just the mushroom gods, or like the elves, I don't know who they were. They like took over the song, and like they started playing themselves, and they started singing to me. They were like, this is all I remember. I remember they were speaking in like this weird language. They were like, like talking to me, and I could tell they were talking directly to me. And they were like, I remember at one point they were like, you are weird, you're weird, you're weird, you're weird, you're weird, and like just repeating that shit. And they were talking directly to me. Yeah. And I was just laying there like I had never done anything like this, and I was like, I went too far. Yep. And all of a sudden, I took out my earbuds because it was just scaring me too much. And I hear this booming voice of just, we talked about the lady being the representation of love. This was the representation of evil, pure evil. It says to me, this is going to sound so stupid. It's dumb, and I think it's funny looking back, but at the time, it was scary as fuck. He said, cookie, just really loud, and it was like all around me, like this booming voice. And that it didn't mean cookie, it meant like whatever that means in the alien language, but that's how it sounded in English.
What the hell could cookie mean?
Don't even try to, I can't just try to decipher that shit.
I mean, I already can't think of a thing. What do kids do? They reach their hand in the cookie jar when they're not supposed to. What do you do with the mushroom?
Oh!
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't think it was literally meant to be cookie. Anyway, whatever. It's he said that, like, it just like enveloped me, like that voice enveloped me, and like I just felt his presence. And then
dude, I wish we had a camera so bad.
I do too.
I'm gonna have to waste the money. Fuck, cameras are expensive. I hate spending money, bro. Especially in college.
Oh yeah.
Keep going.
Well, yeah, it just, I remember at one point, this is kind of where it falls apart, because, like, I remember at one point, I was, like, I could see myself doing different things at, like, different points of time, but I was, like, seeing, like, 4 different things at once. Like, in one part, I was, like, getting a drink of water, one part I was, like, opening a door, and, like, one part I was in bed. Like, just seeing different points of time at once. And, like, I felt like I was in a time loop. There was just repetitive. I thought at one point people were outside my window throwing a ball at my window. Like kids were like.
Remember the one time on your story you said, "There's monkeys next."
Oh.
And then I text you, Gus, did you eat those mushrooms? Because there's no monkeys next door.
That was so funny. Although,
did you really?
There was monkeys. I'm not kidding. There
wasn't.
I didn't have audio on for my story. I like muted it for some reason.
Dude, I think that there wasn't monkeys.
That may be true. Yeah. I can't prove it otherwise, but
there was definitely not monkeys.
Well, I know there wasn't monkeys, but
I don't think they were making monkey noises.
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought so at the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, that trip just was. It was too much. Like, it fucked me up psychologically afterwards. Because when you're coming down from something like that, you're kind of like, you just went on a roller coaster ride of consciousness. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, still jittery. Yeah. And it's still kind of like the next couple days I would see, like, just eyes, like, in the corner of my vision, or, like,
Gee,
it fucked me up for months, dude.
Really?
Months.
That's never good.
I still sometimes think back to it, and it's just like, it tortures me. It was too much. I shouldn't have done that. And I was kind of afraid to trip after that, and I avoided it for a really long time. I'm like, I'm done. But I had a positive trip. I did like a 2 gram dose, and that kind of.
I'll be doing a half a gram.
Yeah, don't do anything higher than 5 ever.
Yeah, no.
That's my recommendation.
Yeah, I don't even think I can't even count to 5.
That was that story. Oh wait, no, sorry, it's a little longer. There's more that happened. I tried to. Okay, This was during Oktoberfest, so that meant like they didn't want people coming in the side doors of the dorm, so they had blocked it out, and the only way to get in and out of the dorm was through the front entrance, and there was like a wall of RAs blocking the front entrance. And at one point I was like, this was when I was coming down, I was like, I'm getting so hungry, I need to get out and get food. Oh, and I would have tried to like leave earlier, but every time I left the hallway to like get a drink or something, I would hear like people passing by me. They'd be like, "Did you know Gus takes acid?" Like they would just be saying shit like that, like stuff that I know they weren't saying, but like none of their speech was. So they were just like,
Oh my god.
the mushrooms completely hijacked.
Were they there?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Gus.
Yeah.
Oh, Gus.
Dude, I did
They
too
weren't
much.
there, dude. You probably didn't even go to the bathroom. You probably just walked
I
one
did.
foot.
Well, yeah.
Pissed in your own dorm.
Who knows, dude? Who knows? But I had to walk through this wall of RAs, and I was like, okay, I know I'm not gonna come off as normal, but maybe they'll just think I'm drunk.
Yeah.
And so I had to walk through, and as they're approaching, they're like warping ahead, like tick, 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 and like all of a sudden I hear, but you don't, and I'm like, bye. I'm just like, I just guess at what to say, and I just run out the front door. And like,
dude,
yeah,
you went off the deep end.
I did,
Why
dude.
didn't you stay in your dorm?
Cause I was starving.
Bro, have your buddies bring you some food.
They fucking went to dinner without me. That's why like they didn't know how to treat me. I was like, dude, can you please help me? And like, sorry, we're leaving
they're
for dinner.
idiots.
They're
dipshits for that.
They shouldn't. They
Shout
didn't
out
know
to
how to treat me.
Gaetano. Gaetano, my cousin, he knows how to handle trips really well.
Yeah, you need someone like that.
Yeah.
I didn't have a trip sitter or anything.
Yeah.
Dude, it gets worse though. Cause as I like run out, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make it to the food hall. So I walk across and I go to the food hall, and outside the food hall, ambulance, police, everything all over. There's a guy in a stretcher coming out of the.
No, is this real?
Yeah, this happened.
It's just mushrooms, yeah.
No, dude, this was real. This actually, there was an ambulance there, and I went there and I was like, okay, I can't go in there because no cop, no. And so I like turned around. My childhood friend Alicia Laban.
Oh, Alicia!
Alicia.
No way!
Yeah.
Hi, Alicia.
Yeah, I don't know if Alicia's listening, but I was on mushrooms when that happened, and I was like, I know she thought I was weird as fuck, cause like she's like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like,
tripping.
Hi.
Like you should have told her you were tripping. She would have helped you. She's super nice. Holy shit, dude! I haven't thought about Alicia Laban since.
Laban. It's
Laban.
No, it's Laban. I know.
It's a joke. Okay.
Okay.
I haven't thought about Alicia. Last time I saw her was, I think, Alex Kane's grad party. She's cool. She's really fun.
Yeah.
You should have told her. I feel like she would have helped you.
Dude, I didn't know because like she doesn't even know I smoke weed or anything.
So? I didn't know you smoked weed.
Well, at the time I was like, I just tried to act normal, which is a bad decision.
Yeah, that was a bad decision.
And then, oh my god. And then like we split up, and then I ran into another girl who like, we kind of had a thing going at first, but then it like just split off. Like we'd never talk to each other anymore. It was just awkward as fuck. And she thought I was weird as fuck then because nothing I said made sense.
Yeah.
And at that point I was just like desperate because I was still hungry. And like I ran up to my car and I was like, I know I shouldn't drive right now, but I have to get food.
You should have talked to Alicia. She would have saved you. She's super nice.
I wasn't thinking clearly, dude. I didn't even contact my other friends, but long story short, I went to Subway. I got a little bit of food.
Extra mushrooms.
No, I avoided those. It was pretty crazy, man. So that's my first big mushroom trip.
That's crazy, dude. I still feel like Alicia would have helped you.
I don't know, man. She would have. She definitely would have. I don't know her very well anymore, though. Dude, I kind of gotta pee. You got a bathroom?
Yes. That door right there.
Dude, I don't.
You gotta be careful.
You gotta be careful.
Yeah, you do, dude.
Like, you can take too much weed and it won't be too bad. If you take too many mushrooms, you can fuck up your life.
Probably can.
You know what happened with like Sid Barrett, like
Oh yeah.
Pink Floyd?
Yeah, he was doing heroin and shit too, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be careful.
Yeah, you do. But Sid Barrett was on average drug. He wasn't just doing mushrooms. He was.
I think it was LSD. Like, didn't he do like 20 doses of LSD?
I'm sure he did everything
At once.
I mean, even John Lennon started doing heroin when the Beatles broke up. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he started doing heroin. That's what Yoko got him on heroin.
Damn.
Yeah, she's a bitch. Fuck Yoko. Fuck her. Yeah. I don't know if mushrooms can totally ruin your life, because Sid Barrett definitely had co-founding variables of every fucking substance to exist. But he's nuts, so.
I'm telling you from experience, though, if like, I think it can. Like,
Yeah, maybe.
if I would have gone down a certain road and if I would have kept on doing shit like that too much,
You'd be screwed.
I'd be fucked up
Yeah,
for the
like
rest
any
of my life.
behavior, it's like, can't do too much.
Yeah. So that's the second story.
That's wild as fuck. That's wild.
Don't take so much. I'm stupid.
Yeah, don't do too much. 6, bro. You did 6.
I didn't respect the mushroom gods.
That's your problem, is you did 6.
Yeah. Well, it was probably more too. I don't know how much
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah. That's crazy. Dude, Alicia, I feel like, was there to save you. You should have talked to her. She might have saved you. She's cool.
I wasn't very I didn't know her very well at that point though.
So, she's the coolest. Really, I didn't know her well at grad party. She was just hanging out with Matt, and I was with Matt, and she's cool.
Huh. Well, yeah, I know she's cool. She goes to lacrosse, by the way.
Yeah, everyone does. I don't like.
I
That
hate
scares
it.
me.
What?
That
Oh.
scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, should.
Don't scare anyone else. Everyone just fucking. Oh yeah, $120,000. What the fuck?
Well, like, you gotta definitely like know you're gonna take school seriously and like know.
Yeah.
Dude, I
It's
think
pretty bad.
you
I don't trust the college. What?
like you can really school can be good.
Yeah.
College,
Like, so can, it's a tool.
right?
Who's running the tool right now? People I don't fucking trust. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Like, I believe in college and collegiate levels of thinking 100%. We haven't had that in a long time. I mean, there's probably no one alive on this earth that can draw the Mona Lisa. There's probably maybe 10 college students in fucking Harvard could actually decipher. Like, the book on Jung I'm reading is just written by one of his students. Like, when he was just a professor, and then just random one of his students. People were hella smart. Because about 1910, the Rockefellers bought up all the colleges, if you didn't know. I mean, every single one. And completely rewrote the education system, and nobody talks about it. Because the Rockefellers are really trustworthy, right? It's like, people used to be a lot smarter.
I don't know if that's true though.
Did people used to be a lot smarter?
I mean, maybe they used to be.
Oh, people definitely used to be. Just a random college student who went to Jung's lectures could write that genius of a book, versus, I guarantee you, maybe 10 kids at fucking Harvard could decipher that book really and understand it. And in order to do that, they would have to take time away from their real studies in order to do actual intellectual studies.
Okay.
It's getting bad. Like, in order for me to go to school, I have to not think as hard.
That's deep.
Yeah, it's not deep. It's just obvious to me. It pisses me off.
I mean, but I really think you can try to make some.
You can, but it won't be reflected in your grades. Do you know what will be reflected in your grade? Doing Adderall and banging out a bunch of quizzes.
Damn.
That's not thinking.
You spitting some truth.
I know, it's fucking evil, and you're going $120,000 of debt at 18 to do that? That's evil. That's my brother.
It's pretty and you make that decision way too early, I think.
Yeah.
In your life.
And taxes are too high. You can't afford it. It's bad.
Yeah. So you don't think you're gonna continue?
I don't know.
I'm just excited to get in some real classes, like psychology classes that I actually want to be in.
I had a psych class last semester. It was okay.
You take AP Psych in high school?
Yeah. Your first semester of psych's basically like AP Psych again, unless you took the test. What's up?
What's up, man?
Gus is here.
Nice to meet you.
Gus is insane.
Literally, I'm actually crazy.
Yeah, he's crazy. Alright.
I recognize your voice from the podcast.
Weird.
Yeah.
That's weird.
What's your name, man?
Ben.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
This is Gus.
We're talking about college right now and how it can or cannot be worth it.
It's not worth it.
He thinks it's not worth it. I think it can be.
I mean, it can be.
I think it can be too.
Yeah, but it's like a tool being used by an evil person. It's like, okay, a hammer could be used for good, unless it's in the hands of a murderer. And I believe college is like an epistemological function that is a tool, and I don't like the people who are holding this tool right now.
Yes. The overseers, I guess, but like
Yeah, they're fuck them.
it's still a place of convergence for intellectual thought and like
Yeah,
smart people.
maybe.
We'll see. We'll
I
see
don't
how it
think
plays
there's a lot
out.
of smart people that go.
At least like the only like facsimile for such a thing that we have.
That's true, but it's like we gotta fix it. Alright, do you have one more psychedelic experience?
Yes. This was what happened recently. My college's friend, he just gave me all this shit, and there was this bag of psilocybe mexicana, which is a type of mushroom, and I wanted to have just a nice light experience again, and because this was right after finals, and I was like, I need a break, man, and I was gonna do a small amount in tea, just one night, like that was it, and I had this bag he gave me, I put it in a tea, I had just run, so like you're supposed to do exercise before that helps,
Okay.
with endorphins and shit. I put it in, I waited about an hour, which tea is supposed to kick in like 15 minutes max.
Okay.
So it wasn't kicking in, except I thought so, but I think it was, which I'll get to.
Okay.
I remember just like my computer screen was a little melty, like I had a picture of rolling hills and they were like spreading out a little bit, and I was like, I'm sober right now, I'm fine, I should take more, and I took the entire bag, crushed it up, and dumped it in the tea and like made more, and I was like, this'll do it. I guess it's not very potent, I should do more. So I drank it. Probably again, this was more like 8 grams. 8 grams. And then it kicked in right away, and like the music again. I was listening to music. It fell apart, and everything just like warped into this colorful warp. Like, think of warp speed on like Star Trek or something. It's like that, except like windy and like And I was like, dude, I was starting to freak out because like, I'm gonna have another bad trip. I gotta do something. I was like starting to get a panic attack, and I called my college's friend up, and I'm like, dude, I know it's like midnight right now. Can you please come over? And he's like, yeah, dude.
Is he in Eau Claire?
He's in lacrosse.
Oh. Wait, where were you?
I was in lacrosse. This was right
okay.
before I left.
Yeah, I did. He's being a whiny bitch. So continue.
That guy's so nice. Ben, if you're listening, actually, wait, cut that out, dude. I shouldn't say his name.
Okay, don't say it. I will. Not you.
Sorry, didn't mean. Sorry, a different Ben. He's the smartest dude I know, and he's the nicest dude I think I know. And I'm serious though. My friend, he came over. He was so nice. He stayed with me for 2 hours while I was tripping balls, and he comforted me and like talked me through it. I would not have survived that if he wasn't there.
Really?
So I really am grateful for him doing that for me. Cause we just talked basically. I made no sense the whole time, but he was like keeping me in this reality, you know?
Yeah.
And eventually he left, and it was like 2 a.m. at that point, and I tried to I was like, dude, before he left, I was like, dude, be honest, how much longer is this gonna last? He's like, it should only be like 15-20 more minutes, you should be good, or something like that. It did not. It lasted way longer than that.
Really?
Yeah. I was still seeing shit at like 4 a.m. I still was awake in my bed, just laying there seeing eyes and shit. And and like at that point I was like, okay, I gotta pee. So I got on, I went out my door, I went to the bathroom, opened the door. My roommate, pale as a ghost, face down on the bathroom dorm floor.
Damn.
Vomit everywhere leading up to his, it looks like a corpse, like honestly,
Yeah,
like.
oh god, that must have freaked you out.
Yeah, I was like, oh my, is this real? Like, am I seeing this? And I just like stood there staring for a second, and I was like, dude.
Yeah.
And he just like responds on the, like his face is still on the floor, so it's like, what? And I tried to, like, I was like, are you okay? He's like, yes, but I was like, he's not okay.
He's not okay.
He looks like he's about to die. and I was like pondering what to do. And I got him a glass of water, and I was like, dude, I gotta help this guy. I think he might be suffering from alcohol poisoning.
Yeah.
I'm responsible for him if
you're
he
on
dies.
mushrooms.
I'm on tripping right now still. And I was like, there's only one way, because I can't live with myself if I let this dude like choke on his own vomit.
Yeah, seriously.
So I was like, I'm gonna have to get the RA. I'm gonna have to wake up my RA and tell her what's going on, and I'm gonna have to try and act normal.
I swear I'm not hallucinating. There's a dead kid.
And my roommate couldn't even like sit up. He was like,
He sees him too. Oh wait, shit. You know-
my imaginary friend sees him.
yeah.
But
Yeah, the alien like was talking to me. Hi.
this dog sees, like, no.
Yeah.
I was like sober enough at that point to like kind of know what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I woke her up, and I think she thought I was okay.
Really?
I think I pulled it off, and I was like, yeah, just so you know, he's in there. He might be dying right now. I don't know what to do. And she's like, okay. And we figured it out. And my roommate, like, at that point, he was able to stand up and like hobble to our room.
Damn.
And I hear him close the door from the distance. Me and my RA just watching this, and I just hear vomit immediately as he closes the door. I'm like, oh,
All over your room.
I'm not gonna get much sleep tonight, am I?
Yeah.
And then I kind of just had to watch over him and like be responsible for him the rest of the night.
Damn. Did he know you were tripping?
I told him,
Yeah.
and he's like, oh, nice. And then the next morning, like when he woke up, he was like, dude, how are you feeling? And he's like, I have no clue what happened last night.
Oh, really?
So he didn't remember any of it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's
That's
the
cool.
third story.
That is cool.
Pretty crazy.
That is crazy.
It's yeah. Oh, I was gonna say, I was definitely not sober when I took the second amount of mushrooms. The mushrooms made me do it. They convinced me I was sober. They wanted me. They decided the dose for me.
Oh no.
I was not in my right mind when I
That's
decided
never
to
good.
take more.
Yeah.
They coerced me into doing it. It was.
Oh no.
I was thinking back, like, there's no way I was
Yeah, you
sober.
weren't sober.
I was remembering my screen pulling apart.
Yeah.
I wasn't sober. Wow.
No.
So
Not exactly.
I think they tried to convince me to take
Yeah, they
more.
did. Damn, dude.
It was
Guess.
Do
What the hell? I mean,
you think of me differently now that you know all this shit?
Nah, you're the same.
Nah, okay.
No, yeah, you're way different. You were already like we would sit there and freaking whose class was that? Mark's, Mr. Mark's.
Marks, yeah.
Oh yeah. And we would just talk about weirdo shit. Like, remember we had that like different dimensional things. You remember that or no?
Wait, what do you mean?
We talked about weird shit, right?
Yeah, we talked about
We
like
were
AI a
totally-
lot.
Yeah, we were totally sober, and it's like you've always been on the periphery type of individual, so it's like it kind of makes sense that you go down this path.
Well, I'm just way too interested in this shit for my own good.
Yeah.
Like, if I wasn't so like, if I went like 2 years ago, I would have been like, I would never take drugs. I'm like a
Really?
straight shooter. Like, but it just pulls me in, this kind of shit, this really interesting
careful.
stuff.
Like there's magnets around you of good and evil. Don't go too far.
Yes, I
It's like
agree.
gravity. I mean, everything is the same. It's kind of insane how much everything metaphorically represents each other. Like, that's kind of crazy. Kind of goes to this theory I have that, like, if this universe is created, then it must have been created by a creator. Because if you look at a plane, you don't, like, okay, let's say you're walking through the woods and you find a UFO sitting there. You don't go, what's your first thing? What the fuck made that? You don't go, oh, I guess the wind must have blew together all this metal randomly and created the UFO. So the Earth exists, there must be a creator. Using that logic, that creator could be conceptualized as God. If God did create us, again, we're going down this logic train that's not exactly specific, but if God did create us, I think he would create the universe as a reflection of our own consciousness, because that allows us to enter this conversation with everything around us to, like, grow more, right?
Okay.
So,
although there is kind of a hole in that theory, which is like, who made God? Like, where did he come from?
yeah,
right?
exactly. No, yeah. There's,
Which is always,
obviously there's a hole in this theory.
But the atheist explanation doesn't do much better.
It's like God is omnipresent, I guess, and omnipresentness seems to exist. Like, everything has some omnipresent effect. Like, a TV needs electricity, and, like, we need oxygen. So there's always omnipresentness around. So,
I mean, I think
wouldn't life need God?
The only, like, yeah, like, it's just a God thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, we can't understand it because we're not gods.
Yeah.
But, like, exactly, like, the atheist explanation doesn't do much better, because it's like, the Big Bang, okay.
What the fuck created that, dude?
Yeah, what about before that? Like, there had to been, what about, where did gravity come from? Where did all this other stuff, like...
Yeah, no, I mean, we can't explain the universe right now. It's pretty arrogant to think you can, actually.
Right.
Yeah, I want to do mushrooms so bad.
Yeah.
How much is a regular dose?
2 to 5 grams. It's a regular.
I'll do
High
1.5.
being 5.
I'll do one. Dude, what I do want to do is I want to learn how to pick mushrooms really bad and just, because, dude, back there, the Lions Camp, and it's so pretty. Like, seriously, I get stoned back there. Even just getting stoned back there is beautiful, right?
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll show you one time.
Yeah, dude.
It's beautiful. Like, it's so important, like, to be in, like, connection with your ancestors. And if you want to do that, nature's a great way to do that. But I want to just get stoned back there and then pick up mushrooms and just sit there and watch. That would be the shit.
Mushrooms you picked
Nobody
by
ever
yourself.
goes back there because no one knows about this place.
Really?
Like,
yeah.
it's not.
Those are the best type of places.
Exactly.
Best type of places don't exist on a map.
Oh, 100%. I know so many places back there that aren't on the map.
Right. Right. Which is another thing Melville talks about, is like the truest of places, the places where things actually happen, don't happen on a map. And don't happen, like, movies want you to think, like, it happened, the most important moments in life are, like, the big moments where everything's going on. No, the most important moments in life are, like, connection with people and, like, your family and, like, just everything like that.
100%, yeah. Yeah, the stock market's a joke. That's not the most important thing in your life. If your whole life's centered around the stock market or something like that, you're living a lie.
Some people are just predisposed to that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like, there's a give and take to, like, you know, the whole, like, humanity works more as, like, a, like, hive than we give it credit to. So there's going to be people that are more oriented to, like ideas than people, but, like, people are important. People are important.
And, like, as Rogan always says, we need all types of people, even though some...
Yeah, you can't just have one type of people.
Yeah, although I wish most people were more open-minded than they are.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the general public.
No, not open-minded.
No.
It's a problem.
Like, for example, if I talked about this shit to normal people,
It's a problem, yeah.
they'd be like, you're fucking crazy.
Yeah. What do you think, Elliot? Do you think he would get it?
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
because he's tripped.
He knows. Like, I told him, like, dude, I had a bad trip, and he's like, he gave me advice. He's like, well, at least afterwards, you're more content with being sober for a while. Like, that's the upside of having a bad trip.
That's what he said?
He said you're happy about being sober. Yeah.
That's interesting, actually.
I guess you could say.
Yeah, Elliot's kind of out there.
He is. I wasn't
I should talk to
expecting
Elliot.
him to be like that.
This is for Elliot.
Oh. Dude, I love Elliot. He's such a nice
Yeah,
dude.
he's good.
He's like one of the nicest dudes I know, I think.
He is.
He's the one who gave me the mushrooms originally.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Elliot's good shit. I don't have any problem with him. The one thing that pisses me off is he's on his, like,